Right, and as always, your views and comments are welcome via social media. On Facebook, just look for Joy News, drop your comments, and we'll share it with the rest of the world, just with the hashtag The Pulse, so I know you're referring to what's happening here on the program. Also, you can send us a tweet via Twitter. The handle is at Joy News on TV. Drop your comments and we'll share it with the rest of the world. My handle on Twitter is at Francis_Aban. Remember, the hashtag is The Pulse. Now, we begin the show today on a slightly different note. One clash that is trending is the match at the Accra Sports Stadium between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Some have even christened it the Ghana El Clasico. Thousands have thronged the stadium expecting a thrilling show. In fact, just a few minutes ago, the game is underway. Let's now speak to one of our team members at Joy Sports, who's been covering the build-up to this game and also getting us live updates and what's happening with this particular game. He joins me now. Ernest is with Joy Sports. Ernest, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Francis.
So, we know the game has started. We'll get an update from the Accra Sports Stadium shortly. But why is this game so pressing and so important that so many people have been talking about it?
Well, Francis, if you realize, this year's season started without a sponsor, and people were wondering what's going to happen. But I think one thing that really went well is the kind of, criticism that the media put across, that our football wasn't up to standard, up to scratch. So many of the, club managers made sure they had good players, had good pre-seasons, and that was what is paying off. And especially for Kotoko, and has its own Kenichi flavor in the air.
The Japanese twist.
The Japanese twist.
The drama around him.
The results going well for him, and it was good for them. Kotoko also started pre-season very well. Unfortunately for them, their season began on a bad note. But along the line, they changed, technical, direction. Mike Rossell is now in charge now, and they're getting the results. And they had the results at the right time. When I'm going to play against House of Folk was around the corner. That's when they picked it up over there. So for me, all the fans are happy. And I was even surprised that as early as 9, 10 o'clock, the stadium was getting full.
And it's good you're coming to the build-up because many have called it the perfect holiday big deal game. Tell us what the build-up has been.
I think kudos to the GFA. It was a holiday, and they thought that play the rest of the matches, leave Kotoko has out. So on a holiday like this, people should come out and enjoy it. And I believe that's what is paying for now. Because probably they had played this match on a Saturday or probably on a weekday, you didn't have gotten it. And I believe that if even more, promos had gone on for them, would have gotten a huge attendance as we are seeing now. So for me, it's good for them. It's kind of the right time. How do you market it? And after this match, how do you go on with it? How do you sustain it? If you realize last season when House of Folk played Olympics, it also had the same ambience around it, but they couldn't sustain it.
Yeah.
So this time around, El Clasico, I'm just praying for a good game, then what next? This would also make sure that from henceforth, all our matches can stand on that of Kotoko has and build up upon all the attendance that we need to make the football very good for you.
Okay, Ernest. Let's see if we can cross over to the Accra Sports Stadium this afternoon. We know that a comprehensive team from Joy Sports is there to cover this event for us. And Gary Smith and Benedict Owusu, as well as George Adu Jr., have made it to the Accra Sports Stadium. They've done a lot of work in the build-up to this game, and they're there to give us some updates right about now. Good afternoon to you, Gary and George Adu Jr., joining us in the commentary box. They're waving right about now. We can have them and talk a bit more about what's happening. Gary, let me first start with you. I know you've been doing a lot of Facebook Live updates. Many have been following this particular game. It's a holiday, perfect gift for anyone who's home and wants flavor. So for you, gentlemen, Gary, I'll start with you. Where are we in terms of preparations and match build-up for this one?
Well, in terms of preparation and match build-up, we are pretty much there. It's good. The game starts at 3 and so I'm really ready for the action. Now, in terms of
Okay, it's becoming a bit difficult hearing Gary right now. I just hope that we can get some more clearer sound to him. We'll re-establish contact with Gary and George shortly. But Let me return to the studio and speak to Ernest right now. Ernest, for this game that we're looking at, already the gentlemen say that the game is supposed to start at 3. I'm just looking at the live visuals we're getting. It's not started. How much preparation, you mentioned the GFA, how much preparation has gone into this particular game?
I think in terms of preparation, I'll say the clubs have done it. Because, I mean, for Hearts of Oak, for instance, it's home take all. If you're able to pull lots of people to the stadium, all the game proceeds are yours. And for them, they realize that this is what we need. So beginning of the season, you're getting the results. Get the results and the fans will be there. And that has been the secret for them. The results have been consistent for them. Even at the point when there were issues about coach, I mean, he wasn't getting the results. They lost in the FA Cup. And they felt that, I mean, come to play against Kotoko, if you don't resolve issues very quickly, you'll be in trouble. If you realize, they just patched up quickly to make sure that everything was less normal for them to get that good results that they need now. And for me, I'll say kudos to Hearts of Oak. For Kotoko too, if you're playing against Hearts of Oak and you don't come well prepared, your fans will show up and the pressure is also going to be on you. So they have to also make sure that when issues were coming within that can quickly let us get an antidote to it. So
before this big game happens. But again, let's talk about where this game is happening, Accra Sports Stadium. I know that for history, it's one of the grounds that you come to prepared or you'll be in a lot of trouble, especially for the Hearts fans. If the game is not going well and they get angry, you can hear all manner of language coming from the fans against the players. Are we going to see something like this, or things have changed in recent times?
I think it will come, definitely. I mean, if you're playing Kotoko Hearts, and if you're a Hearts fan, then probably Kotoko is leading you by 2 goals and results isn't coming. Definitely the pressure will come. And that is where Kenichi is going to feel the first pressure of a super clash. That pressure that the fans will show to you. Come that day, the fans are not your friends. Get the results and they are your friends. Lose and you become the worst enemy for them. The same goes to Kotoko. So for me, the pressure would be there. But it's about how the fans manage it. And again, I'm also praying that security will also be very tight.
Yeah.
Because,
why is that?
Because we all know what happened May 9th. I mean, because our security were not
up to
at the right time. And today we are having huge numbers. I just pray that, I mean, security-wise, they are on point. Probably find themselves within the midst of some crowd. Because, of course, some people would pick their own laws into their own hands, or to start throwing, I mean, bottles, water onto the pitch. Those people need to be arrested quickly and probably dealt with.
Okay.
So for me, security has to be on point. And for me, it gives a refreshing view for us. Many people are scared. Even now, if you go to town and ask them, would you go to the stadium? Hey, don't go. I mean, May 9th. That fear is still there. So I just pray that today we'll set a new tone for us. Let us see that, I mean, football is not about hooliganism. Let us go to the pitch, support our team. Lose or win, we all go as friends.
Yeah. Ernest, I will come back to you for a bit more of analysis just before I let you go. But this issue has been trending a lot on social media. Today, when I was scanning through Facebook and Twitter, you could tell that even for those who are not your typical football people, they had that affiliation to say something about the game today. It's been well marketed, especially on social media. Let me just point you to some of the comments we've seen today in this regard. This is on my timeline. This one by my colleague Elton Brobe. He is an avid Kotoko fan. He says, the one and only fabulous club. And I'm sure for many, they are looking to see their teams win in this game. Sami Dako says, I'm not a football fanatic. I don't even know a single name of a player in my team, let alone another team, whether local or foreign. But I know of only one team, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And that's one thing that's come up strongly. Forgive if this is all about Kotoko, but a lot of talk has also been about Hearts of Oak and how the team has transformed since coach Kenichi Yasuhashi has changed the view and the look of the team right now. It makes this game pretty interesting. This one from Nana Asampana Yabua II says, whether win or lose, I know one football club whose name is in my blood, the African Club of the Century, Fabulous for Life. Okay, so for many, it also depends on where you come from and which club you support. For those in Accra and in the Osu environs, you're crazy about Accra House of Folk. But for those who have ties to Kumasi, to the Ashanti region of that extraction, indeed, you will see them boldly proclaim that this is the club that has its own emblem from the stool of Otumfuo Seitutu. He's actually the chairman of the club. And so many have a certain emotional attachment to this game. A lot to expect. It's already 11 minutes after 3. The game has started. We know there's live commentary now on Joy 99.7 FM on this issue, on this game. You can join in and listen to that team from Joy Sports. It has Benedict Owusu in there, Gary L. Smith, and George Adu Jr. giving us succinct analysis and also commentary on this game that's currently ongoing. Perfect game for a holiday like this after such a good weekend. I'll go back to Ernest for some quick questions before we wrap up and see if we can get an update on what's happening at the Accra Sports Stadium. Ernest, what will a win for Accra Hearts of Oak mean, first of all, for the league positioning and also looking to win the title?
A win for Hearts of Oak, we should also remember that, our league season, when it ends, there's this always head-to-head that determines who is on top. So for a win for Hearts of Oak means that head-to-head, we are going to be ahead because we have at least won our first, home game. Second leg would also decide on its own. Now, a win for Hearts of Oak means that Kenichi will be safe. Because I know there are some rumors going on that if Kenichi should lose
this game and he's done.
He's a goner.
Okay.
So a win for Hearts of Oak secures his position in there. A win for Hearts of Oak brings down tension in the team currently as it's going on now.
What's their league position now?
Hearts of Oak should be on the second position now,
okay,
and they ought to go on top. And definitely, I know today anything could happen. Kotoko, on the other side too, a win for them brings certain kind of stability to the team, but a win for now will tell you that David Duncan would also be out of the team. Because if they are getting the results, then David Duncan has no place in the team now. So that's where the permutations are now. A win for Kotoko now would push them up the ladder for today. Though they wouldn't go to the top, but then would push you up there to also secure you that head-to-head challenges when it comes to the final end of the league season. So for me, there are two things. But do we save Kenichi or do we save Duncan?
That will be an interesting prospect to look at. And indeed, we're trying to see if we can get a live update from the Accra Sports Stadium on this very interesting game. What a gift to have on a holiday like this. If you're not home, if you're looking for some place to be, to enjoy yourself for 90 minutes, this is one game you should consider if you are a football person or if indeed you're in for a thrilling, exciting time at any venue. The Accra Sports Stadium should be one place you should be considering. I'm sure by now the place is packed, so you may have to rely on the television or even on live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM on this very big super clash that's called Ghana's El Clasico. Interesting how this will go. We'll see if we can get a quick update with Gary L. Smith. But we also know that a lot has been happening. Many have seen this game as that trump shoot or that launch pad for the Ghana Premier League to become even bigger and better. In fact, last week we spoke to the Youth and Sports Minister, Neil Antivanapoi, who said that trigger to make Ghana Premier League big again will be for these two traditional clubs who've won on the local and continental stage to live up to their names and become more competitive than we've seen before.
Sports thrives on three prongs. That is development, management, and promotion. The mandate of the National Sports Authority hitherto had been development, management, and promotion of our sports. But development is not just a matter of infrastructure. It's also talked about human development, both practical human development in terms of developing talents and all those. Also, it talks about developing management members, people who manage the sport. It talks about technical development. You train technical people. And in the wisdom of Kwame Nkrumah, when he set up Winneba Sports College, it was meant to develop human resource to develop our sports. Unfortunately, over the years, we've allowed Winneba Sports College to die. They're no more churning out the football administrators, the technical people as we used to have. So over the period, we are not getting the sort of personnel that we needed as a country to be able to administer our sports, both at the federation level, in order to develop the talents at that level, turn them out into the national teams for them to aspire to achieve laurels for this country. So the human capacity is very, very low. So it has affected the National Sports Authority itself, that the personnel to be able to manage the various facilities they have. You can't have somebody managing facilities And the same person in the region has to go around all these districts, try and work with the district officers to develop talents and develop sports. It is not possible. So the scope of work for National Sports Authority has become so huge in the midst of, let me say, unavailability of qualified professional human resource.
Should we do away with it?
So I wouldn't say do away with it. What I'm saying is that, one, we need to develop our human resource base, whether we like it or not. Two, we need to take away some of the mandate. We need to cut off, especially with the management of sports infrastructure. Because facility management is a business on its own. You need requisite knowledge to be able to, that's why people build houses, facilities, and they give it out to people to manage for them.
And it's good you raised this, because we know we now have a Cape Coast Stadium.
Yeah.
We know there's another one that's supposed to come up in the Volta region. If we don't have the men to handle them, why are we building it?
We're building it also with the view that we'll enter into viable PPP vehicles, so that we bring the private sector into it, so that they will take people who have requisite knowledge in facility management, who will take over those facilities and manage them on behalf of the National Sports Authority and the Ministry of Youth and Sports and government. So, for example, if you bring your proposal that you want to manage Accra Sports Stadium, we sit down with you, we look at Accra Sports Stadium. One, you need to do rehabilitation, you need to do improvement, and then you need to do this. These are our expectations and conditions. Then you say, okay, fine, I'm all for it. So you take it over. You manage it. So, for example, Accra Sports want to play a match. They come to you, you charge them how much you can prepare the park for them to play, how much you are charging them for them to use the facility. And then when they have paid you, we, the National Sports Authority and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, will take our 30% or 40% or 50%, whatever ratio we agree on. So that for every revenue you generate there, we'll take our share. You take up the maintenance, so that if you also, for example, fail to maintain the facility, we can take you on, we can take you to court, we can take action against you. But the difficulty we have is that we have people who we have started with the responsibility of maintaining the place. They are unable to do it, and all that we can do is to reprimand them, possibly. And the fact is that civil service, you cannot sack anybody.
Should we change that?
I should think so. I should think so.
We should start sacking civil servants who are not performing.
I believe people should be hired and people should be fired, even in the civil service, in order to make all of us become responsible. I believe so, because, you see, the fact that at the end of the month we paid, whether I work or not. Yesterday I went to the Kumasi Sports Stadium. Francis, the seat you are expecting people to come and sit on to watch matches, possibly in comfort, and pay money, that seat has been dirty for the past 6 months, has not been cleaned.
And in fact, you can say same for almost all the facilities at the Sikong, in Tamale, even here in Accra.
Yeah.
So the thing is this, if you want to get all of this done, PPP, fine idea, when is it happening?
Well, we received a lot of proposals. As I'm talking to you today, we're supposed to have a meeting with my technical people to evaluate some of the proposals that have come. Because in fact, right now our eye is on Cape Coast, because Cape Coast is going to commission next week. As soon as we commission it, we should be able to hand it over to somebody to take care of. Even if we are not be able to agree on it, we should have an interim arrangement where a private person will handle Cape Coast, so that we don't allow Cape Coast to fall into the hands or into the sort of realm that Accra, Kumasi, Esipo, and the rest have fallen.
Okay.
It will be an indictment on our conscience to allow Cape Coast to also go the way of Accra.
What will you say to some who say, we had 4 facilities, we fully managed it, why should we not fix those first, and then we think of having Cape Coast run?
Well, it is not always like that. If you, what we are saying is that because you have not cleaned the bowls, you will not eat. Let's go ahead, because we need facility. Let me tell you, for example, Brong-Ahafo region. I've just come from the Brong-Ahafo region. When you sit down critically to analyze Ghana sports, Brong-Ahafo region is one region that has contributed more people to the various fields: boxing, athletics, football, and even sports administration. Brong-Ahafo region. Go and see what they call the regional stadium, Coronation Park. there's nothing you can write home about. So Brown Afro like this deserve, in order to be able to bring up more talents, they deserve a facility. Volta region, Eastern region, Upper East, Upper West, they all deserve the facility. The fact that we've not been able to maintain very well those who do have already does not mean we cannot build more.
But you see the example for Isipong. Isipong for a number of years has not had lights. Even generators they cannot sustain. What are you doing about that particular case?
Because the National Sports Authority, as I said, do not have what it takes to manage those facilities. No private person will allow Isipong to stay there without using it to generate anything. Let me give you an example. Last I was acting as sports authorities. Somebody organized a musical program at the Accra Sports Stadium. They charged the person 10,000. The person paid. But my own checks, I got hold of one of the people who organized the show. I asked them how much they gross. They gross over 500,000 cedis.
So for the Isipong case like this, if we're not doing it right, what's the plan? Are we going to leave it to rot?
It's the same thing. We are also putting it out. And we are asking, I'm taking this opportunity to tell anyone who is interested in any of our facilities, bring a proposal. We'll look at it, and then we'll give it out. Okay. For you to manage it on our behalf. Because, look, Kumasi Sports Stadium, the whole Kumasi Sports Stadium, the National Sports Authority even do not have qualified marketing people to go out there and market the stadium. How are you going to get advertisers to even come? All the spaces there, good for advertisement.
But if you are giving it up for PPP, for those who work there now, what happens to them?
Well, they have their work, they have their schedule. They have their schedule. To me, if you are supposed to be a janitor, and the person who has come in thinks that you are not qualified enough to do it, he puts you away.
So you're saying if he comes and he sacks all of them, fair deal?
Well, if you be able to do what you are supposed to do, it would have gotten to this level. You see, Francis, this country needs to move. The only way we can move is to take difficult decisions in the interest of this country. We should not look at faces, we should not look at names, we should not look at noses. We should be able to say it as a test. Sometimes when you say people like me, when you say it the way it is, people think that you are radical, people think that you are not a conformist, you are not this and that. No, I don't need to be a conformist in order to bring this country back. But I rather want to be called a rebel to move this country forward.
But are you not doing this and stepping on too many toes? It may look like a good plan, but if it's radical and
if there are
things get
toes to be stepped on in order to achieve what is right for this country, I don't mind. I don't mind. If there are toes to be stepped on, in fact, if there are feet to be cut, in order for us to be able to achieve what is in the best interest of Ghana, why not cut those feet?
So if you're starting a revolution in the sports ministry, in the past we've seen sports ministers not take too long. Maximum 1 year they are out. How are you going to do this?
I'm very confident His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama will win elections in November and will keep me at the ministry for another term.
So you want to stay there for how long to roll out this plan?
I will stay there as long as people of Ghana and the government which I serve want me to stay there. I am very optimistic.
Right, so that's Nilante Vanderpoy last week speaking to us in that exclusive interview here on The Pulse, talking about a number of issues to do with the sports sector and what's being done to improve soccer and other disciplines in the country today. And we're putting it in context in view of what we're seeing today in this highly built super clash between Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Ernest with me in the studio, still on this issue. We're trying to bring you some of the live visuals of what's happening at the Accra Sports Stadium right now. Just a few fun facts to tease your mind and your attention as to how important this game has been in the last few hours. Some fun facts for you on Twitter. This on our Joy Sports page, and it says the last time Hearts beat Kotoko in a league match with a white coach, while Asante Kotoko was coached by an ex-player, was in 1971. That's a fact for you. Also, Hearts of Oak are yet to beat Asante Kotoko in regulation time on a national holiday. So, depending on where you are, these fun facts play to your advantage or disadvantage. Again, if you want to know who's refereeing this game, he's called Awal Mohammed. He's handled one league game between these two clubs, Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Hearts of Oak, in the past, in the 2011-2012 season. That's another fact for you today. Also, this is the big one. No team based in the Ashanti region has won against us in Accra in May since the introduction of 16 league clubs. Will Kotoko be able to do it, change history, or will it be the status quo remaining within this 90 minutes when the game is played at the Accra Sports Stadium? A lot of things are playing out here. Depending on where you are and how you look at things, this will be interesting for you. Also, just to add this one for you just before we go, and we've seen pictures on our Joy Sports GH page. Follow all the conversations and the updates from the game. We are now seeing the lineup for the game right about now. We'll bring that to you in just a bit. We have in goal, we have Subama. Ernest, you may have to help me with the names.
We have Sulama. We have Bempa also in there.
Okay.
So I believe that, it's a regular Hasselfolk
side that's been playing for a while.
Okay. And, of course, on a day like this, you can't just miss out those players. Everybody has to parade its best.
Who will be the key player for Accra Hasselfolk today?
Accra Hasselfolk, Ruben Nyanin will have to be there. The captain for Hasselfolk, he's very influential in there. They also have the likes of Samudin. Those boys are doing very well there. But for Kotoko, Dauda has been the trump card for them now, and I'm sure that if Dauda gets his fitting, well, probably things will go well for them.
Okay, and you know that for sports, Super Sports gives them a lot of content and credits, and we've been getting some live visuals also on what's happening at the Accra Sports Stadium. The game started about 8 minutes ago. We'll bring you live updates as and when we have it here on the program. A lot of things happening in sports, but today we're keeping it local, especially with the Super Clash that's happening on a holiday. What a way to see this player. But thank you, Ernest, for joining us with this build-up and also what's happening with the Super Clash.
Which team you are supporting?
Well, I have supported both teams in the past. I'm now an avid Hazakes fan, and so I'm neutral on this one. I'm just watching to see who can change history.
But which color do you like?
Things. What colors? My show is the Pulse. Red is my color.
Oh, okay.
But rainbow is also a beautiful color to consider.
Yeah.
So my bias will show here for now, Ernest. I know you are an avid Kotoko fan, but it's fine. You can support them for this one and see how. Of course, I know you, Ernest. But thank you for joining us today with these updates. We'll bring you more in terms of updates on this game and who's winning, who's losing, how the fans are reacting to this one later on here on the program. At this point, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you some issues to do with that deal government signed with Goldfields Ghana Limited that is drawing a lot of criticism, especially from civil society groups. And we're learning today that the Convention People's Party have also had the bite on this, what they call a poison cherry. Details after the break. Stay with us.